Good afternoon everyone and welcome to round 1 here of Lobby 2 for the Volkswagen Scirocco League for season 19. Obviously we're going off a replay for today's event, or what I should say was 10 days ago for round 1. 8 drivers in Lobby 2 fighting in these wonderful Volkswagen Sciroccos. You can see the lineup on the grid. You've got Rally Matt, who took provisional pole in that number 85 car with that Hankook livery at the front of it. And next to him is Snav as well, lining up on the front row with him. 1805 was third in qualifying, Danzo in fourth. Big Z lining up fifth in that Care Bears livery. A hark back to the old days for Big Z with that livery. Suburtis was 6th, Roving Island and Mark Parker, the 2 CRT drivers, were on the final row of the grid with 8 drivers for the race. Now, there are normally more drivers in Lobby of 2, of course. Unfortunately, a fair few of them were able to make round 1. So, rather than having me talking, let's get into the action. The lights coming on shortly. There we go. And the race was underway here at Nurburgring, and it looks like a relatively decent start from Rally Matt, who's got away well. Let's cut forward to see the action from the front, but Snav has got the lead going into turn number 1. Let's have a look to see. Rally Matt, that's 1805, has gone flying off at turn number 1, so it's not gone well for him. He's dropped right down the order. Danzo trying to look around the outside going into turn number 2. It's going to be quite difficult for him to try and go around the outside there. He's still trying. You can see him hanging it around the outside with Big Z in that Care Bears car. He's got Bursus looking at the inside, but looks like Matt's got the move sorted. Snav, though, leads the way. Rally Matt just cuts across Danzo, stops that through. Here comes Bursus now in that Fuchs liveried car, the white and blue on the right-hand side, number 23. Oh, bit of contact between the two. Don't want to have any more contact going into turn number 4. Touch of lag as we go through the left-hander, and then dropping down into that turn number 6 right-hander. It's good, clean racing so far. 1805's there in 6th after briefly being in the lead to start off with. Parker 7th, and a little bit further back is Roving Island. But at the front, Snav leads the way in the very interesting liveried Betty Smolleck's number 11 car. There's Rally Matt in second place at the moment. The provisional pole sitter lost the place at the start. It was a good start from Snav. Danzo in third in that sort of matte green car he's got going on. Looks like a bit more action going on there at the back. So 1805 just slots himself through the corner, the left-hander, as he preps himself for turn 12. He's got a good look at Danzo. It's a very good run coming out of the corner for 1805. He's on the inside as we come towards now the turn 13, little right-hand kink. You can see Rally Matt ahead as well, all over the back now of Snav as they approach the chicane. It's going to be quite difficult to do this on the brakes late if he can. Looks to do it. Oh, Snav locks a front brake and Burtis goes flying through. It's the back of Danzo, actually helps Danzo out, and Burtis in the middle of all that goes up to 4th. Good overtake from the Dutch driver. We come round the final corner. Burtis not really getting the best line ever. Big Z right behind him in that interesting Care Bears livery. You can see that 1805's got a good run. Snav is looking like he's having to defend further up the field as they go towards turn 1. Rally Matt not as close as I thought he was going to be. On the brakes, that's Burtis just defending, but 1805 up the inside. That's up to 4th place. Good drive from him so far after his... Looks like he just got the braking all wrong into turn 1 for 1805, but he's back up into 4th, which is crucial for him in this opening round to get as many points on the board as they can. That's Rally Matt looking to go around the outside of Snav. That's a very good move. If he can pull this off, we'll ride on board with Snav, and he's sure enough, Rally Matt's through. He's back into the lead. He's got his provisional pole place back. He's gone a little bit on the grass coming into turn 5. Got to be careful there. Could have went horribly wrong for him. Snav right on the rear spoiler of that Scirocco. We come now down towards the turn, technically turn 8 hairpin. Snav going for a very late lunge. That's a great move up the inside, nice and clean. Rally Matt's on the outside of these two. Danzo we're riding on board with. Very clean between the two. Here comes Rally Matt though. He's got that move slotted up the inside. Danzo looking for a little bit of momentum, can't quite make it though. And he just stays behind him for the time being. 1805 now getting involved in this lead quartet. Burtis has dropped back a little bit, the number 23. Looks like Matt's gone a bit too wide. Nothing doing for now. What about the cutback from Snav? Is he close enough? Not quite. I don't think he's going to be there or there enough to try and get past Matt going to the chicane. But I'll tell you who is, though. 18.05 on the inside now, coming through turn 13. He's on the outside for 14. Is he going to be close enough to try and make a move around the outside? Danzo almost looking for a move. He's gone over the curb. That's promoted 18.05 up to third. Bertus just in behind these two. It's become a leading quintet now because of the fighting that they're all doing. And 18.05 completes that move. He's up to third place now. Good move from 18.05. Got himself right back where he was at the start now. And Bertus hoping that he can try and latch onto the back of the cars. There's Parker in 6th. Biggsy's in 7th, so he's had a little bit of a drama somewhere. Just clearing that penalty as well. Gives Roving Island an opportunity to look maybe at the inside. There's more battling going on between 18.05 and Danzo. And in fact, Danzo's gone down to 5th, so not quite certain, but Danzo lost the place there. Snav's on the inside now as they come into turn number 3. And he's got the move cleanly up the inside again, goes Snav, and he's back into first place. Lobby 2, fantastic so far. Great action between the Scirocco drivers. Those two have actually managed to gap themselves a little bit away from 18.05. Oh, Rally Matt again on that curb. There's twice he's done it now. If he does it a third time, I'd be half inclined to believe that he's almost doing it on purpose in a sense. But Rally Matt in 2nd. There's 18.05 in 3rd. Sir Bertus in 4th currently. Very nice Fuchs design that from Bertus, I have to say. He's done a good job with that livery. 5th place is Danzo. Obviously running with a couple of select, I want to say they look like circuits almost in a sense with the lines that he's created on the green matte livery that he's done there. It's a little bit like it. It's not quite, obviously. It's more for effect than anything. I think Bertus just went through the gravel. Snav and Rally Matt are side by side again as they go into turn number 11. Snav just forcing Rally Matt onto the curb, but that's fine for him. We'll cut to 18.05 because he's got a good view of all this. Snav didn't quite get the run that he would have wanted. Rally Matt just gets himself back into the lead. These two having a really good fight at the moment. Is he going to have a look to the inside as Snav? Not quite. But now he's got 18.05 latched onto his rear spoiler. So the duo have now become a trio once again. Snav with an interesting line. So he tries not to crash out. Oh, there's two drivers have disappeared. It's the CRT drivers have disappeared off the back of the grid. Oh, that's really unfortunate. So we're down to 6 drivers. Bertus in 4th, Danzo 5th, Bigsy now all by himself thanks to the lack of CRT boys. See that very colourful livery for oh, and there's an issue for Danzo as well. What happened to Danzo? That was very peculiar. Something happened to him. He was running well, Danzo, but seemed like a strange reset. So we'll cut back to the front 3 because this seems to be where the fight is now with 6 minutes 50 gone in the race. Still another 13 and a bit to go. Snav going purple in that first sector. You can see he's got a good bit of a momentum going on at the moment. You can see Snav is just looking for a potential opportunity further down the lap. Just trying to set the car up through the correct corners if he can so. Coming towards the Schumacher S. He's gone a little bit wide for the Schumacher S. Matt very close to the gravel trap on the right hand side there. Matt just looks like he's got a little bit of a gap now to Snav. Got to try and keep up this pressure. Looks like he's got about roughly a second on Rally Matt at the moment. You see Matt with the fastest lap. He's going faster again. What about Snav? Didn't come up with his time in line there. There's Bertus, Bigsy, Danzo. Peculiar what happened to Danzo. Not quite certain. He's lost 8 seconds though because of whatever happened as he approached turn 1. We saw him sort of fading in and out a little bit. That seems to have done his racing, unfortunately. Parker, Roving Island out, unfortunately. Maybe some disconnection issues going on there. But Rally Matt now coming over the line. What's his lap time? 2 minute 1.6. That's a great lap from Matt. What about Snav? He's done a 2 minute 2.6. So the gap between them, a second, is absolutely brilliant lap time from Rally Matt. 18.05 though, looking to apply this pressure. He's got a 2-second penalty, which he will need to clear. It's crucial that he does. He can't keep that time penalty around for too many laps. can see he's just got a good run now as 1805. Just clipping through the different cameras there. You can see Snav's gone very wide coming out of turn 4 out of the Mercedes arena. Is there an opportunity? Potentially not quite. Going through turn 5 into turn 6, down into 3rd gear, clipping the apex. Snav gets a little bit of a better run to Snav, and then through the, you wouldn't really call it a corner, but turn 7, and then on the brakes down into turn 8. You can see different lines being used. Snav taking a tighter one compared to 1805. That seemed to give him just enough momentum there to just get away again. Further back, Bertha's still running in 4th place at the moment. He is being caught by Bigsy. Bigsy taking 1.5 seconds out of the Fuchs driver, the Care Bears man. Clearly putting on a show after his incident, so to speak, earlier on in the race. You see 1805 now has got a very good run coming out of turn 12. He's going to be on the outside for turn 13. Snav's picked up a penalty somewhere on the circuit as well. Going to be side by side through 13. 1805 now on the inside. Is he going to clear Snav as they approach the chicane? Looks like they do, and sure enough, 1805, nice clean move up the inside. But here comes Snav. He's back on the inside. He's done a really nice switchback as Snav. Here he comes then on the inside, halfway through the race. That's 1805 down to 3rd again. He's got a nice little switchback though, as 1805 into the slipstream now. Can he try and fight back going into turn 1? He's going to be on the outside as we approach that first corner again, as we go on to lap 6. Later on the brakes goes Snav, very late indeed. That's going to allow a big cut for 1805, but can't quite take advantage of that. But these two having a really good fight for 2nd place, and I suspect now Rally Matt is off and up the road. See Snav again taking those tighter apexes, compromising him, but not really allowing 1805 an opportunity to get through just yet. Up into 4th gear. You can see how the Scirocco builds its way up to 5th gear now. 1805, little look up the inside, but not going to be quite a viable move through there from that far back. Bertus in 4th, and Bigsy taking another half a second out of him on that last lap. So Bigsy looking to try and get a move done. 1805 also looking like trying to get a move done, but he's a little bit too far back from that point. I don't think he's quite going to make a lunge into turn 8. 1805 still got 1.9 seconds worth of penalties to try and clear. He's mounted the curb, but it hasn't quite given him the opportunity. I can see why he did it. Wanted to just square off as much of the corner as he could for the Schumacher S to keep the momentum up, but he turned in too late. Breaking down into 3rd. Good driving so far between these two, really competitive to watch. But now the fight to watch right at this moment, Bertus and Bigsy in 4th and 5th. And you see Bigsy with catching these last few laps, last 2 laps, taking 2 seconds practically out of Bertus, so he's going to have to try and defend now on the brakes. There's the Dutch driver into 2nd gear. Bigsy stays in 3rd gear, a little bit of difference between the two, and look at that, the momentum that Bigsy's gained from that, clearly working paramount. You can see he's right on the back of him. He tries to do a little switch, but nothing quite working there. And in fact, he almost compromised himself coming out of the hairpin. But Bigsy now putting the pressure on the Dutch driver. You can see the slipstream now really working into the effect. Can he go for a lunge? Bertus goes to the inside. It's on the brakes. Brakes later. Bertus covering the inside. Bigsy taking a tighter line through, but the switchback not as effective in the Scirocco compared to the Megane from the earlier on race. Here comes Bigsy though. He's looking for the different move at the inside, but brakes a little bit earlier. Bertus goes very deep into the corner though. They're going to be side by side. Bit of odd lag going on there, but never mind. Bertus manages to keep his position. But Bigsy now really applying the pressure on as he come through turn 5 on the brakes. Down into 2nd gear potentially for Bertus, he is, and then up to 3rd. So you can see the difference in styles between the two drivers. You know, Bertus preferring to downshift another gear and then getting maybe a higher rev coming out of the corners, whereas Bigsy, you can see the difference. He prefers to stay in that higher gear, keeping the wheel spin to a minimum, getting a little bit potential more speed coming out of the corners. He's really squared the corner up well there as Bigsy. I think Burtis did even better than him. What about the fight for the podium? Yes, the fight for the podium looked very close on the track indicator. Rally Matt is off and up the road as far as it stands, but here comes 18.05 now. He's got an opportunity on lap 7. Bigsy's also got past Burtis, just as we saw that, just as we cut away, unfortunately. But Bigsy up into 4th place. But 18.05 is on the brakes, but cuts as much of the curb as he wants, but he's not quite close enough at the moment, and he's still got that big penalty to clear. Here comes Burtis up the inside, a little bit of door rubbing between the two, front quarter to the rear quarter. Bigsy though holds on, he's up into 4th. Danzo coming through the chicane now, just did a 2-minute 3.6 that lap, so he clearly had the pace to be with Burtis and Bigsy. So now they come onto the main straight. 18.05 on the outside as they approach turn 1. He's going to look to do a switchback. Stays in 2nd gear, gets the car nice and on the power early, but not close enough. Bigsy defending heavily now from Burtis. Burtis very late on the brakes, and I suspect that's cost him a lot more time than what he would have wanted. Bigsy then gets a little bit of a gap away from Burtis now. He's going to have to try and regroup, is the Fuchs driver. Snav, on the other hand, still defending from 18.05. We can see Snav using a little bit of the gravel there on the outside of turn 5. It's compromised him. 18.05 though hasn't got the best exits. Could have had a better opportunity. We'll come forward just to see the Rally Matt 85, our race leader. We've barely seen him. Absolutely flying at the moment is Rally Matt. He's made a very good transition from Project Cars 2 onto Gran Turismo Sport so far, and he's got just under 5 minutes to go, just approaching 4 minutes to go now in this race. At the moment he's absolutely off and up the road. You can see his lap times in the last few laps, they've just dropped off from where he was before. He's just taking a little bit more steadily now compared to earlier on in the race. What has happened to 18.05 though, because he has lost ground. He was a lot closer to Snav than at the start of the lap, and now he's got a 2.4 second penalty, so things have not gone right for the Power Maxed and Fastar sponsored effectively driver. 18.05 might have just lost out on that fight for 2nd place. Bigsy still in 4th. After he got past Sir Burtis, looks like he's just put a bit of a gap. Ooh, very peculiar line for Burtis going through turn 13 and 14 effectively, or 14, 15. Danzo getting quicker as the race has gone on. Just a shame what happened to him on lap 4. We're not quite certain. Just seemed to, unfortunately for him, just stopped on the circuit. I'd love to know what happened to him. Matt though, leading the way. Be very pleased with his performance so far. You can see that he's taking some really clean lines at the moment. Snav still happily running in 2nd place. He's gone wide again coming out of the Mercedes arena though. He's took that line a few times. 18.05's now cleared most of that penalty. There's Bigsy in 4th. He set some relatively decent lap time so far. It looks like he's on a personal best as well, so he's on for getting into 2-minute 2s at the moment. Hopefully in his case he'll be able to carry that on. 2.5 minutes left to go in the race now. Bigsy looking for some secure points. All the 6 of these drivers will be getting some good points for tonight. We know that there are 10 drivers signed up as of this race, so a lot of points to be gained here. They're not going to be fighting over the minor places for 10th and 9th. They're going to be getting at least 6th place, providing that they all finish now. That'll be a really good positive for everyone. Danzo just flying through the Schumacher S. Looks like a little bit jittery through the corner. But Rally Matt has been unopposed effectively since lap 2. Once he had that little scrap with Snav, once he got ahead, that was it. He was off and up the road. Just effectively 1 lap to go for him now as he goes around the final corner. It's going to be a very good victory for him. So there he goes onto that final lap. He did a 2-minute 2 on that lap. Let's have a look at what Snav was doing, if there's any form of Competitiveness, no, it's a 2-minute 3.8, so you can see Rally Matt in a league of his own, effectively, in this race. Once he got ahead, he was gone. 18.05 coming across the line, just clearing that last of that penalty, may as well do it. Something that has been discussed numerous times in the Next Gen chats, to say that penalties should be cleared within a lap of gaining them. But obviously in the heat of the fight, people do forget about these things, so it's something to be discussed further, I'm certain of that. Bigsy happily in 4th. Bertus just running around in 5th. That looks like this is going to be it for the positions. Doesn't look like there's going to be any further scope for changing of the positions, changing the guard almost. Danzo's done really well, I have to say. Danzo's drive back after his earlier dilemma on lap 4. Although he's not going to improve on 6th place, he's really wrenched the gap down to Bertus. You can see the difference. I don't think he'll catch him before the end, unfortunately for Danzo, although Bertus runs a little bit wide coming out of turn 6. Got to be very careful of that gravel trap. Can be very, very traumatic if you end up into the wall at that one. But we'll come back to Rally Matt, because he's had a fantastic race 1 so far. He's on this final lap now, just coming round turn number 12, just sets himself up nicely. It's been a very, very good performance, and I'm fairly certain that Rally Matt will be thinking to himself, the championship challenge is on. He's put a very big marker down in today's race. I say today's race, of course, this was on Thursday, the week before last. He's just clipped the curb very nicely as he approaches now the final corner in 3rd gear. No problems for him, and it's Rally Matt who's going to be your race 1 winner in lobby 2 at the Nurburgring. Fantastic result for him. He'll be chuffed with that, no doubt. Snav clearing his penalty on the final corner. I'm sure he won't mind that one, but the Betty Swallock's racing driver, he's happy with 2nd. 18.05, good fight between him and Snav for 3rd. He will take that, no doubt. There's 4th for Bigsy, good result, and look at the speed that Danzo had. But he's not going to get 5th, because that goes to Bertus. Danzo in 6th. Great race between the drivers. Unfortunately, we had 2 disconnections on that one, and a couple of other drivers missing. But I'm fairly certain in a few moments' time, when I'll be commentating on the 2nd race at Alsace, there'll be a lot of action going on throughout the field, of course. So that's race 1. See me quite soon for race 2. I'm going to end this stream, and I'll be starting up the 2nd race fairly soon. We'll just see how the scheduling goes on that one. But wherever you might be in the big wide world, thanks very much for watching. Take care.